Good morning, kids. Happy Saturday. Love you. How about some broccoli cheese soup? Do y'all like broccoli cheese soup? I do. It's yum. I redid my blue streak. It's pretty obnoxious. That's okay. Okay, let's get started. We are going to chop up half a cup of onion, which in my world probably means about half an onion. Okay, so I went ahead and peeled it, and I'm just going to chop it. My stove is on, and my pot is on my stove, so it'll be warm when I get done here. So we're going to use a half a cup of onion. This is probably a generous half cup, y'all. Seems like I don't do anything that's not generous. Yeah, that's plenty. Let me put the rest of this onion in a little bag here. Because I think this will be plenty. We just want it for flavoring. It's not onion soup, it's broccoli soup, right? Have you ever had French onion soup? We need to do that one day. That's delicious. Make your little homemade croutons. Yeah, good stuff. Anyway, just chop your onion like you would. And it doesn't have to be, just little pieces, because at the end, I'm probably going to immersion blend it just a little bit. I like my broccoli soup just a little immersion blended, so it's kind of, more creamy, but with just some broccoli in it, as opposed to being completely lumpy broccoli soup. So, look here, I painted my nails. First time in 2 years. My husband's 40th class reunion is tonight. That's about as fancy as I'm getting for it. So, and it doesn't start until 8 o'clock. Who does that? Your 40th reunion starts at 8 o'clock? I mean, we're usually ending things by 8:45 or so. That's a whole other Oprah. So, I'm sure it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. We'll see all of our friends. Anyways, we're going to put half a stick of this butter in here and get this onion sauteing. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you stick it over here in the pan. I think I need to move this. Oh, flip. I'm going to move it. I'll be back. Y'all there? Okay. The butter, let me get a hot pad. The butter is melted. My burner was warm. See, my half stick of butter is in here. Now, we're just going to throw these onions in. Let them saute. For a few minutes. Whoa. There we go. That'll work. Just let them saute. Now, we're going to put a clove of garlic in here. 1 or 2, it calls for 2. I'm going to do 1. You like more, plenty of garlic, you put 2 in. If you want 3 in, put 3 in. I'm just not. But you don't want it to saute the whole time that the onion does, because garlic gets a little bitter if it sautés very long. If it's, gets a little scorched or whatever, it'll taste bitter. So here's my garlic, my little bulb. Y'all know to peel it, you just cut off the end, and looky there, then that outer part just comes right off. That's all you gotta do, not a big deal. No problem. Some of my pieces are a little big, but it's not a big deal. I just want them to get translucent. So that is, it called for half a cup of onion. I just used a half of a pretty good sized onion. That's close. If you don't like so much onion, just put a little bit in. Soups and stuff just never seem to suffer from cooked onion in them. I can't eat raw onions, but I do like cooked onions. All right. I'm gonna go ahead. I use a garlic press. I got me old Pampered Chef garlic. I think it's Pampered Chef garlic press a long time ago. And that's what I use. But before I got that, all I did was, you know, dice it. Dice it real fine. No problemo. Oh boy, you can smell that. Whew. And I'm only going to let that go a minute. Then I'm going to dump in, it calls for 4 cups of chopped broccoli. I have a little more than 4 cups here, so I may have to stop myself. Or I'll just may have to add a little bit more liquid. The pot's going to be full. It always is. Always is. I can't seem to cook a small amount. Alright, I'm going to dump this broccoli in. Yeah, it cooks down. It'll be fine. Now when you chop your broccoli, one got by me, be sure and, you know, don't leave those big thick stems. Cut them, you know, so you don't have to let it cook forever, but don't have those humongous thick stems in there. I bought that broccoli at Sam's that's already chopped, but then I go and trim the very end off of it and get rid of the big stems. So, I'm going to mix this up. I'm just kind of making it more uniform so it cooks more evenly, that's all. Now, I'm going to add chicken broth. It calls for like 3.5 cups of chicken broth. I think there's 4 cups in this jug. I'm just going to kind of cover the broccoli here. And I'm going to put the lid on this and let it cook. Alright? Now, I'm just going to turn it down, you know, to mine's 3, so 3 out of a 10. Medium low, or low medium, or whatever you want to call it. And I'm going to let that cook. I'm going to put the lid on it. And I will come back in a little bit when that's tender. Alright? See you in a minute. Alright, y'all. I walked off and left it for probably 15 minutes or so. And you can see it's doing a light boil. Well, that was unfortunate. Sorry. Doggone it. always seem to be messing things up. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the heat down for one. Once I add the milk in it, I really don't want it boiling much, if at all. Sometimes it'll separate. Now this is half and half, and I'm just going to add some, oh, got to take the little ring out. Silly me. I don't know if you need to see a little bit more stuff. There we go. Okay. I'm gonna creamy this up with some half and half. How much? Well, it depends on how much, you know, liquid and everything that you've got in your pot. I just want it to be creamy. Now, you see how that went from just broth and butter to, oh my goodness, cream soup. Imagine that. And I'm gonna pepper and salt. Pepper and salt to taste. Now keep in mind the chicken stock will have some, be kind of salty. Unless you use no salt chicken broth. I don't. So, I mean, I'm just putting in some kosher salt, a couple of pinches, okay? Some people might leave their soup just with the chunks of broccoli in it, but I kind of want to blend mine a little bit, so I'm going to grab my immersion blender. I'm coming. I'll be right back. I gotta find it. All right, y'all, I found it. An immersion blender. You know, one of these. If you don't have one, well, the old way we had to do it was take part of the soup out and put it in the blender and then pour it back in. Immersion blenders are not that expensive. I highly recommend. You just hold it on the bottom and let some of that broccoli go in. Flippity flop. Anyway, most of it there is chopped, but there's some few pieces of broccoli left, right? So that's how I want it. I want some broccoli, but not all broccoli. I'm gonna get that sucker. He's too big. All right. That's good. That's good. That's good. Let me get rid of this. And then that's all it is to smoothing out your soup. Not difficult at all. Okay, what I'm going to do is just a little bit more cream. Or half and half. This is half and half. And I'm going to make a slurry of flour and water. When I say slurry, I mean I'm going to mix up some, can y'all see my hand here? I'm going to put about, I don't know, quarter cup, just about a quarter cup of flour. Dadgummit. Someone call Paula Dean and tell her I need her kitchen. Because I do. Okay, see this flour here? We did this the other day. I'm going to add water to it, and I'm going to mix it with this and make it smooth so I can thicken the soup with it. I'm coming, y'all. Paula Dean's kitchen or Ree Drummond's kitchen, or I'll take just about anybody's kitchen. Anyway, I'm just going to pour some of this. I just mixed the flour and the water, and I'm just going to pour some of it in here as a thickener, okay? Your cheese is also going to thicken it, all right? I'm going to let this cook for just a little bit, thicken up a little bit. Okay. I'm going to put just a touch of cayenne in here, okay? Sue me. It's starting to be soup. It's starting to be soup. I just did like a 1/4 cup of flour and enough, water. Now you can use cornstarch. You can use a 1/4 cup of cornstarch and some water, and to thicken it with also. I've always used flour because that's the way Mom taught me. So that's what I do. And maybe y'all wanted your soup chunky. I like mine more creamy, but it's whatever you like, honestly. I'm gonna go ahead and dump, and I grated 2 cups of cheese earlier. I'll see if it's cheesy enough, and I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I add Velveeta, because Velveeta just, it melts really great for stuff like this. And if this is not cheesy enough, I'll throw in some more grated cheese. And I'm going to kind of tell from the color. The recipe called for a little over 2 cups of cheese, but I couldn't remember how much I actually usually use. And I'm betting I used more, so I'm going to get out some cheese. I used freshly grated, but what I'm fixing to add in is going to be the already grated kind. Freshly grated melts a little better to me, but do you what you want to do. If you already have grated cheddar, that's fine. It's fine, it's fine. Add a little bit. A little bit more. How cheesy do you want it? How creamy? How lumpy? How not lumpy? Do it how you and your family will like it. I just like a rich bowl of thickened, creamy soup. And I bought this this here baguette. I'm going to cut it up in slices and make little buttery garlic toasts to eat with the soup. That's what I'm going to do. Because why not? And I'm going to tell you that the soup will thicken as it sits. It surely will. I don't know who... see, that's what happens when I didn't write out my own recipe. I should have known better. It takes more cheese than what they said. Unless you don't actually want it to be cheesy. I do at least want to be able to taste that there's a cheese. And I'm going to tell y'all what else I'm fixing to put in here. We're going to make potato soup one day. I do make some darn good potato soup. I am not going to lie. I don't know if you want to do this or not. Don't judge the brand I bought. I didn't have any beer, so I just went and got some cheap beer at Walmart. But I mean, when you're cooking with it, it's not like you're going to put Stella in there. You just want the beer flavor, okay? I'm going to tell you that in soups that you use cheese in that are creamy, like potato soup, broccoli cheese soup, put in some beer. How much? Oh, how much was that? Probably, I mean, maybe half a cup, 2/3 of a cup. I mean, honestly, when I start with a can, not a 32 ounce can. I usually come close to a can, but I can sure smell it. Yum. Beer and cheese soup goes together like peanut butter and jelly. It's yummy. People don't put beer in their broccoli soup. Why? Who says? And you can try it. And maybe you don't like a beer cheese flavor. I'm just saying, if you tried a beer cheese flavor, maybe try it. Now, this soup is just going to sit here. It's going to simmer. I'm just going to let it, cook on low for a little bit and thicken a little bit. And I'm going to make my little pieces of toast. And then I will come back and show you when it's all done. If I did anything else to it, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to taste it real quick. And let you know if I'm messing it up or if it's good. Oh. No, it's good. Yeah, it is. Yeah, beer and cheese. Peanut butter and jelly. Eggs and ham. Okay, I'll come back when it's completely done. Y'all, while I'm thinking of it, let's recap. Because I kind of did this and that. 1/4 cup of butter. Saute 1/2 cup of chopped onion, which I used 1/2 of a medium onion. And then I put in a garlic clove with the garlic press. Saute just a minute or so more. And then like 4 to 5 cups of chopped broccoli, fresh broccoli. I guess you could use frozen, I just never have. 4 to 5 cups of chopped broccoli. Cover it with chicken broth. I used 4 cups, 3.5 to 4 cups. I put the lid on it and turned the heat down some, and I let that cook for about 15 minutes until the broccoli was tender. Okay? And then I put my immersion blender in. And I chopped up a lot of the broccoli so that it just has a few chunks of broccoli in it and the rest of it's creamy. Put in your 1/2 and 1/2, about probably 2.5 cups, just to make it creamy. Salt and pepper to taste. I put in a little bit of cayenne. And then I stirred in a 1/4 cup of flour mixed with enough water to make a slurry. Poured it in. Let it be thickening. And then I poured the cheese in and let it melt. Y'all see how it made soup? And then I added some beer, and probably a cup or so. Probably a cup of beer. What are you looking at? I didn't pour myself a cup of beer. Maybe. And then I'm just going to let it simmer for a little bit. I'm not going to let it boil. I don't want the milk to separate the cream or whatever, the 1/2 and 1/2. Just over low heat. Letting it simmer for a little bit. I'll be back. All right, y'all, we're going to wrap this up. I made my little toast points, what I call toast points. They're French baguette. Just little garlic toast with Parmesan. See, I like the Parmesan to get crispy on there. You get off of there. Just that kind of stuff. Yummy. Just broil it. Make little pieces of toast, like overgrown croutons or something. Okay? Now, we're just going to ladle some soup in here. And you can thicken this more. Honestly, it'll be thicker tomorrow than it is today, after it's been in the refrigerator. And this is what the soup looks like. It's creamy. Broccoli. Then we're going to sprinkle some cheese on the top. You could sprinkle bacon on the top, stuff like that. Just sprinkle a little extra cheese on the top. Put in a couple of pieces of toast. See? Oop, don't fall down in there. This is what I get. Anyway, broccoli cheese soup. Cheese sprinkled on the top. This yummy garlic bread to sop it. Sop, sop. That's where the word soup comes from. Sopa. It's from a sop pot. And they used to sop their bread in the pot in the middle that held all the juices and broths and stuff. That's what I learned one time anyway. Here's your broccoli cheese soup. And it is good stuff, I promise. People have already been down here tasting of it. Y'all have a good Saturday. Pray for me that I got to go to a reunion tonight. Looky there. I got a rooster tail sticking up. I'm ready to go. Bye.